Welcome back to the neighborhood, everybody, for the newest episode of Mr. Mortgage's Neighborhood. Our first guest tonight is a special guest, Mr. Benito Gonzalez, one of our fine loan officers here. Benny, tell everybody kind of who you are, how you got here, what you did before, the easy stuff.
Okay, it's kind of been a long journey for me. First of all, I've never done any type of sales in my life, so I never would imagine myself sitting here today. I was in law enforcement for almost 20 years. After I finished my law enforcement career, I did a little bit of Paralegal work. I worked for FedEx for about 3-4 years delivering, which I actually liked.
Yeah.
It's not really. If you want to make money, you know, if you want to kind of move up, it's not really.
It's a younger person's game too.
That too.
I know with me, I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, that too. And I was actually introduced into this business by John Kennedy, one of our other loan officers, who was my neighbor, and he kind of talked me into it. I almost did real estate, and I was very fortunate. I had the time to study. I took three months out of my life just to study day and night, and here I am. I mean, Jim interviewed me before I even took the course. Said, "Listen, if you pass, you have a job."
Yeah.
And here I am.
Yeah. And you are one of our bilingual loan officers. You do both Spanish and English-speaking borrowers. Is there any different feeling or any different sense of accomplishment closing a Spanish-speaking borrower as opposed to an English-speaking borrower?
I think they're both similar. I mean, I deal with a lot of Spanish-speaking clients, and I do feel like a sense of, almost like a sense of responsibility, or kind of like, I'm Puerto Rican, my parents are Puerto Rican, and just to help someone from my community where I grew up at, or someone who doesn't speak English well, and they're here working hard and don't understand the loan process, just being able to help them. And when we close a loan, just the emotions that they get, because it seems like it's something they never thought in their lives that they'd be able to accomplish. And just to get that feeling at the end, it's amazing.
Yeah, and we've done some presentations together, you by yourself, in some of the inner city sections. You know what I mean? The people with the not as good credit and things, and they're way tougher to get closed.
Yes, they are.
But they're way more rewarding.
Yes, they are.
When you get them done.
I've went to a couple closings where I cried.
Yeah.
I mean, really, because the emotion that they show and that they feel, I feel it too.
Yeah, and there's something to be said for, when you know in your heart that you're closing a loan, that most other people probably wouldn't have closed.
Right.
You're working with people, like, don't get me wrong, we're a volume-based business, so an $87,000 loan with a 620 credit score, you're going to beat your head against the wall, and it's going to suck the whole time going through.
Yeah.
But when you get them to the closing and it's all done, and you get to hand them the keys and see that go on, and you get to be there the minute they realize the dream that they really never thought they could do. Yeah. It's like it's better than the paycheck that you get.
It's really rewarding. It really is.
Yeah. So you've been doing this for a little over a year now?
Yeah, I'm going to say a year and a half. So
okay.
I'm still kind of new, but every day is a learning process for me, and I learn something every day. And through your guidance and everyone in Envoy Mortgage, man, I'm learning a lot.
What do you think was a speed bump that you hit in your first 6 to 9 months that now seems to be like, I can't even believe I struggled with that back then?
I mean, you see, coming from my background and what I did in my past career, I was not used to doing cold calls. I was not used to networking, social media. I'm still kind of getting used to that right now.
Right.
And that was it probably still is one of my biggest obstacles that I still have to get better at. I feel comfortable around people. Yeah. That's not an issue. I get along with everyone, but just putting myself out there every day, and just kind of networking and just letting myself go, to be myself and let everybody see who I am. Yeah. It's kind of hard for me. I mean, I started the business, I'm 54 years old, so social media, I didn't start doing social media until maybe 2 years ago when I started this job,
Yeah.
So what's easy for someone in their 20s is not easy for me, but I'm kind of getting there, and I think that I mean, I think we're going in the right direction, and,
Sure.
and you know, with your guidance and everybody here, I mean, it's working out well.
And
Yeah.
and not being a salesperson and getting into a sales job is difficult because even though I've been doing sales for my whole life, I never want to feel like a salesperson.
Right.
I never want to feel like I'm pushing somebody into something, although I know in my heart there's a lot of times where people need a little push. Like they need, not like I'm going to make them do something that they don't want to do, but they're kind of on the fence and they can't make up their mind, and just give them a little push. How have you dealt with that part of the sales aspect of a job, the actual sales?
Yeah,
in the job?
I kind of agree with you. Everything you said makes a lot of sense to me. I don't feel like a salesperson.
Right.
I really don't. And, you know, I try not to be too pushy. Every customer I treat like family or like a close friend, you know. And to me, it's really important just to treat them that way and treat them fairly and be honest about everything. And, like, I never find myself pushing it and pushing it. Listen, either you want it or you don't. If I can help you, I'm going to help you. But if I can't, I'll send you to someone that can do it.
Right.
You know, because to me it's important, the most important thing is that you get along.
Right.
You know, so if I can't do it, I know that maybe there's someone else that can do it. But, you know, I don't look at myself as a salesperson. Right. Even though this job, people say you're a salesperson.
Right.
But I think you're more of a people person.
Sure.
And I think as you build relationships, as you go on through your career and people get to know who you are, you know, then you get to get more customers and everyone trusts you, you know.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. If you're a realtor out there in the real world out there and you're watching this episode right now, what would you tell them about why they should call you and refer their clients to you and trust you with their lives in your hands?
Well, I think that, and it's just not me, I think it's Envoy Mortgage in general. We have a culture here where we treat everyone, you know, fairly. We treat them like family. And we really do care about you closing your loan. I mean, when you close your loan, it's such rewarding for all of us. Mm-hmm. And I just feel that this environment and this job, Envoy Mortgage, this is what we do.
Yeah.
You know, we make people happy. We want people to be happy. You know, so it's not just a job. You know, it's about making everyone happy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Here's your personal question. All right.
Okay.
Ready? A genie comes and appears to you tomorrow morning when you wake up and tells you you can go and witness one sporting event that happened in the past. You can witness one sporting event and you can bring one person to watch it with you. What event do you want to see and who do you want to go with you?
I think it would be when the Phillies went to the World Series, and
which one? In
Tuck
80
McGraw when he was jumping off,
1980?
he was jumping off the mound. I remember that vividly. I don't really have like anyone famous that I would want to take with me, but my son wouldn't have been born then.
Right.
But it would be something I would want to share with my son.
Right. You and your son.
Yep.
1980, watching the Phillies win the World Series.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Ben, thanks for coming by.
Thank you for everything
Awesome.
you do. Appreciate it.
We'll be right back with the next guest.
All right.
Welcome back with our next guest here in the neighborhood. Tonight we got Dawn Wallace coming in from, you are at a new company right now. Tell a little bit about the new company that you're at.
So I'm with Haynes Realty.
Okay.
They're based out of Ship Bottom, New Jersey, but I focus on Burlington, Camden, Gloucester counties.
Awesome. And you've been a realtor for how long now?
Since 2017.
Okay. All right.
So,
We've done business with you previously at your last company. Did really well. You're a Voorhees native. How did you get into the real estate business?
so I was a paralegal for a little over 20 years. We're going to just leave it at a little over 20 years.
I hear that. It sounds like that's not an exciting job to be a paralegal.
Actually, I loved it.
Oh, okay.
So I ended up working with my husband, and I decided, you know what, I've been doing contracts for 20 years. Let me go into real estate. Let me help people
Yeah.
find their first home, their dream home, their retirement home. I just got into it to really help people more than I could in the legal industry.
Nice, nice. And I take it that's your favorite part of the job is helping somebody find their home and do whatever. What's your least favorite part of the job?
My least favorite job, part of the job, would probably be this current market we're in.
The market.
Our first-time home buyers are having a really tough
Sure.
time.
Really
And
tough.
those are the most fulfilling
Right.
to find homes
The
for.
620 credit score that need a little bit of seller assist, that only have FHA funds, those are the ones that hit you, but they're tough to find houses for right now.
They're really tough
Yeah.
right now. So that would be my least favorite part, telling someone, just sit tight for 6 months.
Right, so you can get it. Do you do any VA purchases? You have any experience with that? Have you had
I
a lot
have.
of that? Okay.
I have. But that was before the market got
Mhm.
as crazy as it
Is it just as crazy for VA as it is for FHA right now, the way it is?
Yeah, they're pretty much balanced.
Right.
The inspections, pretty much, they're looking for very similar things.
Right. But I mean, sellers, are they just as picky with VA as they are with the FHA?
Absolutely.
Of course, because they're not putting any down. All right.
Absolutely.
Cool.
It's more the inspection
Yeah,
than the down payment,
That's
in
it.
my view.
in your view. All right. So, 2024. Paint me a little picture of where Dawn Wallace is going to be in the real estate industry 2 years from now. Where do you see yourself?
I see myself selling a lot more homes because I feel like the market is changing.
Yeah.
With interest rates as high, people going back to the office, you're not going to see as many people moving from Philly and New York to New Jersey.
Right.
I think inventory is going to open up a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm hoping interest rates will lower.
They should.
Inflation will lower a little bit, we're hoping.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be able to get those first-time home buyers into houses.
Awesome.
So I'm hoping to see that $8 to $9 million mark again for
Gotcha.
sales.
Awesome. Okay, so let's go outside of the business world, outside of real estate. Talk a little bit about what you do to fill up that heart, spiritual, love side of things when you're not selling homes and kicking butt that way.
So one of my biggest joys in life is to give back and help other people. I've been involved with a couple organizations, especially through COVID, when nobody was able to give back or available to give back. I was involved with King's Crusade,
Mm-hmm.
which is, bringing awareness to addiction, especially during COVID.
Sure.
Health and wellness, one kind act a month.
I like that.
Me and my children we would make meals in toiletry bags to Camden. They do Camden, Atlantic City, and Philadelphia.
Right.
But we would go to Camden and we would deliver the meals to homeless people
Yeah,
that
that's
are
awesome.
struggling.
Yeah. It's important to show the kids.
And also in our current era of, I want to say, discord,
Mm-hmm.
I was taking food and surprises to the police department as well.
That's awesome.
I have family that are retired police officers, and it all kind of works together.
Sure.
So I love to give back. I was on the school board for a while. I love to give back to the community.
That's awesome.
Wherever I can.
We need more people like that for sure, for sure. All right, your surprise personal question. Tomorrow, you hit the lottery, $2 million. What's the first thing you're buying with your $2 million that you just recently acquired?
I probably wouldn't buy anything.
No?
I would probably just pay off my mortgages and put more money in the bank for my kids.
I like it. I like it. Yeah. How many kids?
4.
4 kids. Yeah.
2 in college, 2 in private high school.
Nice. Nice. That's awesome. All right, Tom. Thank you very much for coming to the neighborhood.
Thank
Don't
you
be a
for having
stranger.
me.
We know you live close, so pop on in anytime, and we'd love to have you back.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. Our next guest is Mike Rowell from Keller Williams here. Mike, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you, sir.
Great to have you. Mike is a fellow realtor. tell the folks in the neighborhood a little bit about yourself and how you got into the real estate business.
So I kind of fell into real estate. I, grew up Cherry Hill, went to college, got into banking, left there for 5 years with a small business, liked that a little bit more, and then kind of fumbled into it at the end of 2017, got my real estate license, and then ended up, here I am.
Yeah.
So just kind of happened. It wasn't necessarily like a planned thing. I just kind of took advantage of opportunities as they came, and here I am.
Nice. And I know you do some work with investors, you do some flipper stuff. What's the big challenge in the market now with finding flippable properties and working with budgets?
So the hardest thing right now with flipping properties is getting contractors.
Okay.
And not necessarily just GCs, but they then depend on subs, day laborers and stuff like that. And those people, everybody's burned out. Obviously the market's tough right now as far as inventory of product, but I'd say labor is far more difficult. Rates are going up right now,
Sure.
So people are speculating on future values a little bit more, but there's stuff out there. It's much less than it was before the pandemic. There's less foreclosures and all that kind of stuff, and there's less properties, but I'd say the hardest thing is actually getting the work done.
Okay. And now, as far as accumulating business or finding people, how do you go about that? Like some realtors do farming with mailers, some realtors do a bunch of social networking. What's your
So I grew up in the area, so I have a decent network of people that I know.
Yeah.
I'm active on social media, and I when I first started, like everything I was putting up was real estate related. If I got started, if I was doing a showing, I posted a picture of it. If I was at an open house, picture. New listing, coming soon, under contract, sold, closed, home inspection. So I just made, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so people, given that I grew up in the area and have a pretty large network, I started getting a lot of my business there. I've done realtor leads and Zillow leads stuff before too, but my goal initially when I first started was I had people, different agents. I started on a team. And at that time, beginning of 2018 and in 2017, like everybody and their mother wanted to be a flipper.
Right. Sure.
Like
everybody watched
flipper
Armando,
yeah.
and they got their thing. And
Yeah.
It's easy to flip a house.
Yeah, you had Tarek and what's her name, like, Izzy, how much it's gonna take?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So everybody wanted to do it. So when I was on a team, there was leads divvied out. Being brand new, a lot of times they just want to deal with retail buyers, the experienced agents.
Sure.
So they give me investors, and I looked at it like, I might take 20 people around who aren't going to do anything, but if I can land one or two here and there, and they
Sure.
can buy 5 properties a year, that means 5 purchases, 5 listings.
Yeah.
And I was able to accumulate about 4 different investors who want to keep me kind of afloat. And then from there, you get a listing, and you get an open house buyer, you get a different buyer from a realtor lead or whatever, and so you kind of I relied on that heavily. As far as I like the repeat business versus just the one-off buyers.
Sure.
But I do both. But
Yeah.
that was kind of my target goal.
It's less hunting and more servicing than.
Yeah, it becomes more of a numbers game, which I like doing and stuff. And when I first started, there was foreclosures everywhere.
Sure.
So it was a lot easier to just like cherry pick where you wanted to be and what you wanted and numbers. And now it's a little bit more difficult, but you find things here and there.
All right, now outside of business, because it can't be all work and no play. What does Mike do to warm the heart, warm the soul, keep the head going and the body going?
I do jujitsu.
Yeah.
Right, and then I box, and I go to the gym. I'm engaged. I have a dog. Hang out with friends and family and stuff. So, I just try to do my thing and just.
You're recently new with the jiu-jitsu, right? Is that?
Yeah, I just got my blue belt a
Okay.
couple months ago. So, but yeah, I've been doing it for a couple of years on and off, and I got a little more serious with it last year. So, but yeah.
Is that like they'll hurt you physical kind of thing? Like you're scrapping, you're grappling.
Yeah, they have different levels. You can kind of partner up with certain people.
Okay.
That, you can say like, are we gonna like really go?
Right.
Obviously, when you go to like competitions, it's different. But
Sure.
when you're just rolling with people, you're gonna get people who are like, I'm not 20 years old anymore.
Right.
So, someone wants to like, do like some flying triangle and like throw me over their back, and I'll be like, can you warn me at least? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Give me a heads up.
Give me
here.
a heads up. Yeah, I might not want to roll with you.
All right. So I'll ask you the same question I asked Ben. Sports fan, correct?
Yeah.
So, any sporting event in the last 100 years, if you woke up tomorrow morning and Jeannie said you can go watch this sporting event, and who would you take with you to watch it?
I mean, the Eagles, in the Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl.
Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl?
By far, yeah.
Okay.
I mean...
The one they won, not the one they lost.
Oh, yeah.
All right, just making sure.
Yeah. Nick Foles, not
Nick Foles,
McNabb.
not McNabb.
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing. So, I would probably say that. And, I don't know, even though my girl's not a big sports fan, she's still my best friend. So, I mean, I'd like to...
It's good to experience that.
Yeah, I would
Same
probably
thing.
take her.
I just started dating she's my wife now, she was my girlfriend then. Literally, we just started dating like in November before the Eagles won, and we went to the parade.
Right.
And that was, even though she's not a huge sports fan, it was still like an awesome moment.
Yeah.
To spend with her and my kids and all that. So,
yeah, like I watched with my buddy Fury, my longest friend, and like, you know, in theory, it's probably who, you know,
yeah.
we go together. So, because, you know, we were out there banging pans in his neighborhood
Yeah,
after
hell
they
yeah.
won. So,
Cool. Awesome, Mike, thanks for coming by.
you got it, man.
Stop by anytime. We'll be
Thanks.
back with the next guest. Welcome back to the neighborhood. Our next guest is Juicy Cusimano. Welcome to the neighborhood, Juicy.
Good to see you.
So tell everyone in the neighborhood who you are, how you got into the business, and where you're at right now.
So my name is Juicy Cusimano. I got into the business about 5 years ago, and I just always was interested in real estate. My husband and I, we invest in properties, and just always loved the idea of doing something like this. Finally did, and I'm glad I did because I love helping people find their forever homes.
Now, when you do investing in real estate, are you doing buy and holds or flips or both?
No, we just buy properties and rent them out. That's mainly our thing. We don't do any flips. We thought about it, but I think it's a lot more difficult than it sounds.
Yeah, I was just talking to Mike before
Yeah.
we came in, and we were talking about everybody watched, Armando Montalongo on TV and Tarek and his wife on TV a couple years ago, and everybody in the world thought they were a property flipper because they could go in and say a sink would look good there and let's change the paint color, and it has changed a ton.
Oh, yeah.
It's much harder. Take it from someone who's messed a couple flips up. It's much harder than
And you
it
have to have a
looks.
team, I feel like.
Yeah.
If you don't have that team, then it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite part about, if you have a buyer, what's your favorite part about the business?
Well, if I have a buyer, obviously finding that home for them, because
Yeah.
sometimes, especially in this market, it's very hard to find, or win a bid, and so when I do, it's so satisfying to me.
Do you have a perfect client? Like, are you more geared towards first-time home buyers, or are you looking at more of the luxury listings, people with the step-up homes? And
Funny, I do a little bit of everything. I've had, higher end clients, I've had clients that are just first-time home buyers that can only afford a very, small amount, which it doesn't matter to me. I work with anyone. That never deters me from working with someone.
nice.
Yeah.
And you've had experience working on a team and working for yourself?
Yes.
Give me a little bit of an idea of what the difference is between working on a team and having all the responsibility on your shoulders.
Okay, well, working on a team for me, it was great for the beginning, just for some education, but I found out very quickly it was not for me.
Yeah.
Just because I have a little bit of the control more.
Imagine that.
So for me, I like to make sure that everything is done right, and from start to finish, I am always on top of it. And so I feel like I have more say-so and more control over it when it's just me.
Nice. Okay, so outside of work, because it can't be all work and no play,
Yeah.
what do you do for your heart or your spirit or your free time that keeps you going or makes you feel
So,
really good?
I mean, I do work out a lot. I enjoy doing that. And we have two beautiful girls, 24 and 19. So they still live at home. So
Mhm.
they keep me busy too. And just enjoy spending time with my husband. We go out to dinners and just, travel, things like that.
Nice,
That's about
nice.
it.
And your daughter, we'll give her daughter a plug. Your daughter
yeah.
helped me out really well. Gianna at Top Golf in Mount Laurel took really good care of us, getting us
Oh,
the
good.
platinum membership. So if anybody's looking for a platinum membership, Gianna
Gianna.
Cusimano take really good care of you, for sure. All right, so your last question is, if you could have an interview with any person, alive or dead, throughout history, who would it be?
Oh, alive or dead? I think I probably would say someone like Marilyn Monroe, only because I feel like her life was cut short, but I think that there was so much more depth to her and never really got a chance to learn.
That's a
about
pretty
her.
interesting one. She
Yeah.
would be a really good interview,
Yeah.
especially because if you could talk to her now, she had the info
Oh,
on,
she had
on
the
the
dirt.
Kennedys.
Let's be
and
honest, she had the
yeah,
dirt,
right.
yeah.
So that would be a really great
Yeah.
conversation because she would
Yeah.
tell you
Yeah,
what really happened.
that would be a good one, yes.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Lucy, for coming
Thank
by.
you for having me.
Don't be a stranger. We'll be back with the next guest.